Blessings, friends. I wanted to get on here and speak to um, just this experience I had this morning um, and share about that, but also talk about, tie it into the work that is necessary to be done um, by the collective. So this morning I was in the car and I was listening to some music, and I suddenly deeply, 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 deeply connected to and felt the grief of the separation that the collective and humanity suffers from the earth, from the elements, from one another, from our humanity. And I started sobbing and I started grieving this deep, deep grief of, for thousands and thousands of years, the separation from self, the separation from spirit, the separation from our great mother, from the earth, from the divine mother, from the divine father, and from each other. And I really felt into the loss of life that's occurring right now on a mass scale in Gaza. And the price that we're paying the price with children's lives and children's blood. And just how shattering that is. And as I was having this experience and I was allowing myself to feel these really big emotions, what came through really strongly was how important it is for us to feel our grief and our rage, and not to get stuck in one or the other, because that creates an imbalance of the elements within our system. So when we get stuck in our grief, we become immobilized, right? That water element takes over and it washes over you. It sweeps you away, right? In its current. When we get into our anger and our rage, the fire can be so intense that it burns. It burns you, right? That righteousness comes through, and that feeling of just wanting to destroy everything, right? That energy of that dark mother coming through strongly. But it's not centered, it's not embodied. And so when we have to feel the grief. We have to feel the grief. And we have to recognize and see when we get caught up in the current and welcome the energy of fire into our energetics to bring balance to the water. Just as when we are caught up in our rage and it's ungrounded, right? We need to turn to the element of water and allow ourselves to feel the grief and the sadness and the senseless loss of lives, the destruction of the earth, the desecration of all the spiritual teachings by these predatory energies, by this dark force, by the evil that exists, the desecration of the earth, and the desecration of our hearts and our bodies that we have allowed ourselves to be used in this way. We're really in a time of deep reckoning where we need to call ourselves back and reclaim our hearts and our voice and our power from these predatory energies. And that requires a lot of unlearning and deprogramming and opening up to different ways of being and seeing and working spiritually. And these ways are not taught within the wellness and spiritual communities because these are ancient ways. These are ways that come through with working with the land, with the elements, with your ancestors, connecting to your roots. If you are disconnected from your roots, you are disconnected from your power. Full stop. It doesn't matter how many plant ceremonies you've sat in. It doesn't matter how much work you've done. It doesn't matter what other traditions you've tapped into. If you are disconnected from your roots and you have not done the work of removing those predatory and dark energies from your roots, then you have been hijacked. You are not in your power. You are not in your voice, and you are not fully in your heart. We are living in prophetic times. And so much of what the collective has been taught is not true, is not real, is true and is real. And that's part of the spiritual awareness and awakening that's required. Reconnecting to the mysteries, reconnecting to the ancient technologies and bringing them forth in this current iteration that we live in. Bringing back balance. There has been a great imbalance on the earth since the inception of these patriotic forces that has created an imbalance within humanity, that has desecrated, right, the divine and dark feminine, this energy, this vitality. All the ancient goddesses were both goddesses of fertility and war, of life and destruction, because that's what creation is. And if you have a womb and you bleed every month, you literally move through that cycle every month. There's such a deep disconnect and a deep, deep forgetting, or amnesia, that's the word, amnesia. It's time to bring the balance back. We have to bring it back in our bodies and in our lineages so that we can spiral it outward into the collective. Otherwise, what we are seeing, the atrocities we are seeing, they're going to get worse. Because these predatory energies, this dark energy, it comes through and it hijacks people that are not embodied, that are confused, and it uses them. People who are in their ego, connected to the false sense of what power is, which the false sense of control. I'm offering a workshop on the 28th of October on the elements of protection. I invite you to come join and learn about the ways that your energy gets hijacked and used by these predatory energies and ways to provide protection for yourself. In November, I'm also offering a couple of workshops. One, working with the heart chakra and really connecting to your lineage and seeing where some of these predatory energies have infiltrated in and working to remove those. And I will be offering a third workshop, which we will be working with the ley lines to really connect to Jerusalem, Palestine, and that entire region and start pulling out these predatory energies by the roots. I want to invite you to all three. This is the work. This is what it looks like. If you're sitting and wondering, but what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. I feel so helpless. This is the work. I also offer one-on-one work if you're really ready and willing and committed to doing this deep work, because that's what we need. That's what we need people to be doing. Please reach out. I hold the highest vision, the highest timeline, and I send you so much love.